to Cageside Live on Cageside Seats. I'm Matt Roth. I'm the host of the show. I'm joined, as always, by Sean Rueter. But we got a third person in the booth tonight. The one, the only, Geno the Geno Mrosko. He's coming out of retirement. He's bringing the heat tonight. Guys, the band is back together.
I heard the cries. I heard the calls. They want me. You two fucks are not good enough to make them forget me. Sean, stop breathing into the fucking mic.
I'm not fucking breathing.
I told you already before the show goes on the air. You're breathing directly into your microphone, dude.
I am not even breathing.
You're
I'm
absolutely...
holding.
I know.
Sean, this is what it sounds to us. Sean, this is what it sounds to us.
It doesn't actually sound like that, Roth. That was terrible. But dude, no, it's right under your nose piece, dude. Like,
I'm covering it.
I can see you doing that now, Sean. You're fired, Sean. Don't get lippy. You were fucking fired, Sean. We're not in the mood for this shit tonight. Couple things, real quick. Obviously you don't see me on video. I've got some stuff going on, some personal stuff that I can't get into, that Sean knows about and Roth knows about. Whatever. Life gets hard sometimes. I'm dealing with some hard shit. But my voice works, so I'm here. And I did hear your calls and your cries. You wanted some fucking Geno time. And what better time? I did not even know, before this complete piece of shit episode of Raw, that this would in fact be a complete piece of shit episode of Raw, when I decided, hey, send me an invite. I'll come back tonight. Like, hey, yeah, you know what I mean? Hey, what's up, everybody? I miss you guys. Love you guys. All that good shit. Did not realize that this show would be so fucking bad. But it is so fucking bad. This was so painfully bad. Like, really fucking awful. In pretty much every way. I'm not sure there was a single good thing that happened on this show. Other than Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair basically telling Hulk Hogan he's completely full of shit. Everything else fucking sucked. In every way it possibly could.
No, the eulogy was great, and the Bellas was amazing.
Okay, Nikki Bella is kind of my hero.
You. Fuck both of you. That was
Nikki
horrible.
Bella is kind of my hero, but everything else is really bad. And the Cena stuff is so far beyond bad. Like, oh my fucking god, dude. So yeah.
What did you expect, though?
You know what? It's funny because people are, I predicted it when they went to break.
You did. You nailed it. That's what I'm saying. Is you knew what was going to happen.
They went to break, and people are like tweeting me. Someone tweeted me, "Are you a wizard?" No, dude. No, dude, I'm not a wizard. I watch the product. I'm way too familiar with WWE, and they're predictable as fuck. It's ridiculous. It's horse shit. It's like I tweeted too before it. I was like, I hope that they have the I was gonna say balls, but I'm trying not to be an idiot here, and that doesn't make sense anyway. I hope that they would have the guts to beat Cena clean. And I hope there's a different plan in place, and maybe that's what they're going to do. But they would beat him clean, and then he'd be like, fuck, what's wrong with me? That's what we've always wanted. Vulnerability. Instead, they trot out Bray fucking Wyatt, who's killed dead at this point. He's killed dead.
Oh, no, he's done. He's done.
He took one clothesline and acted like he'd been shot in the face with like a 12 gauge. At point-blank range. Like, one clothesline, and he was dead. Like, he sold it for like 3 minutes, and Cena had his chest puffed out in the corner, like, oh, yeah, that's right, I'm a beast now. Like, wait, so if he's off 1 week, no programming, he comes back, he's totally fine. So I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, I could be, certainly, I thought Brock Lesnar gave him the beating of a lifetime at SummerSlam, which is 1 week ago.
This is something that Sean and I have been talking about since SummerSlam, and obviously they're not going to commit to it, and this was me being stupid, but they had the opportunity to really make John Cena the vulnerable, broken guy, and which everyone claims he's a superhero, and that's what they're really making him out to be, but they had the opportunity to basically follow comic books really with how Batman had his back broken and he's he's working his way up and he's trying to get back, he's trying to get better again. Like this is something that comic books does all the time. And WWE was like, we have this great thing. We have this great ending to a great match at SummerSlam. Everybody's praising that match. You get the Paul Heyman promo the following night on Raw, which was incredible. And then you go, like, that never happened. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. And, like, this is why it's impossible to, like, take the WWE seriously as a fan and not get annoyed at stuff, because you have the perfect setup. It's not The Rock beats John Cena at WrestleMania and he has the worst year of his life. You actually have the setup to do that. You literally have the setup to do that, where it's just like, my confidence is gone, and you can have him lose to Heath Slater.
Here's the thing. I get it in a sense. Okay, my problem isn't with what they did. Okay, not necessarily.
My problem's 100% with what they did.
Hang on. It's not with what they did necessarily. It's how they fucking did it. It's how they got there. Because look, you already announced the rematch. There shouldn't be a fucking rematch, for starters. I don't like that idea. I think that's terrible.
They booked themselves in a major corner with that. Yes,
they did. And now they have to sell it. And like the people who are tweeting me, it sells itself. Shut up. No, it doesn't. It abso-fucking-lutely doesn't. Because in MMA is having this exact problem in 6 days. You know how many people are going to buy Renan Barão versus TJ Dillashaw Part 2?
15.
Maybe 15 total. You know why? Because TJ Dillashaw beat the ever-loving shit out of Renan Barão in the first fight.
And won by TKO, so it wasn't even like that went to a decision and it was a one-sided decision. He finished the dude.
My boss at MMA Mania came to me and said, we might not cover this card. That's how bad it is. Go look at the card. We might not cover this. Like, we've legitimately had talks of maybe we'll do the last fight. Like, okay, here's what happened. But besides that, there are going to be no hits for this. There's no interest in it. No one gives a shit about it at all. So, okay, you're WWE. You've already announced the rematch. You think, okay, this is where the big money is. Our two biggest stars, Lesnar's the champ. You need to bring him back for something. And then, okay, here's Brock and, all this shit, whatever. You have to build Cena up again. Okay? So I get that. I get that you need to make him look good again in order to make it to where he's credible in some way. Because you can't just have him get his ass kicked and then, like I thought, have him lose again. And then again, and because then he's getting a title shot now. We just beat him every week for we'll all sit here and fucking jerk off online about it. That'd be great. But you can't do that if you're actually trying to sell a pay-per-view. So I get why they need to make him look like he is an actual credible threat. However, you don't do this by further killing a guy in Bray Wyatt who you are going to fucking, at some point, you're going to have to depend on these people to go into the future. Like, what the fuck's the matter with you? Find a different guy to kill. Like, Bray Wyatt? Of all the people, Bray Wyatt.
What they did to Bray Wyatt tonight is we're going to be talking about this for years, because this is his Wade Barrett in the Nexus moment. He just got fucking fucked.
Yeah,
everything else up to this was fine. It could have been fixed relatively quickly. This is your fucked. You just got beaten by one man, really. I know he had
not beaten.
Right. Humiliated.
As Cena told us tonight, and did a terrible job of telling us, and I had problems with that too, and we haven't even talked about that yet, was one clothesline. And then I get you're trying to recreate, essentially is what they did. Let's recreate the Lesnar match in a small way for Raw, trimmed down for TV, and show that he can do the same thing against a formidable foe, I guess. Because Bray is still, in their minds at least, somewhat a formidable foe. I don't know that they realize, or maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe they don't give a shit. Or
they don't care.
They don't
care. They don't care.
Bray is not that anymore. And no Chris Jericho incarnation will change that. Like, when Jericho leaves, good riddance. Haven't been entertained by damn near anything he's done since he's been back. He no longer has the stroke he used to have. His name does not mean anything close to what it used to. And even at its strongest, it didn't mean that much because even then they didn't book him the way they needed to, which is the same kind of shit they're doing to Bray Wyatt now, which is you don't let them go the full way. They already fucking had Bray beaten by Cena, and now, well, we can just go back to this well because he's still a semi-credible guy. No, he's fucking not. You were literally in the process of making him a credible guy again in the Chris Jericho feud that you're trying to run with him right now when Jericho wasn't even on fucking TV. So you think the best thing to do is to fucking beat the shit out of him like this? Are you fucking kidding? Who thought this was a good idea?
I just me personally, I don't understand what they're doing because, like, Bray Wyatt's still a heel, so it makes sense in that capacity. But it's really, really dumb because they already finished their feud. Like, it's done. Like, there's no rivalry anymore. Like it's not like, oh man, it was really close.
It was the biggest name they could sacrifice to Cena, that they felt they could sacrifice to him, that could make Cena look formidable enough for a Brock rematch.
I mean, you have to.
You have to. Randy Orton.
Yeah, where's Randy Orton?
Been Randy Orton.
He wasn't even on this show.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That would be a bigger name that right now isn't doing fuck all. Who just came off of beating Cena. It could actually be part of a comeback story, and they chose to not do that. They chose to squash. Their Undertaker replacement.
I mean, at this point, you have to send Bray Wyatt down to NXT again. Like you can't keep him on TV. This is now a joke. You made him a joke, and like that whole Eater Worlds thing, dude. I have no problem if crowds now want to call him Husky Harris because the WWE didn't commit to this character. They tried, maybe, kinda, sort of.
They never got it. He's another NXT character that they never got.
He's another NXT character that didn't get, and like, dude, put him back down in NXT so at least I can see him wrestle with Fergal Devitt and Sami Zayn and all these guys, and maybe like be the super heel that NXT needs. Because NXT has like Tyson Kidd as a heel, and they need a real heel. So make him the killer heel down there.
They need they have to serve a lot of masters, and I get that. I get that Cena is your cash cow, and the video that Sean that you posted today, that
got taken down.
It doesn't matter.
I know. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, they took it down after it got real play. But yeah, and because it was him being very candid, I think, and they saw that and they're like, "Fuck, we gotta take this down."
Why? What was the video?
The video was John Cena. He was training with someone, and his trainer was kind of ribbing him a little bit, kind of poking him and going, "Just waiting for you to turn on everybody." And Cena's like, "It'll never happen." Like, he looked at it like this wasn't like a kayfabe response. This wasn't like him being like playful or in character. Like, he's literally looking at this and he's going, "It'll never happen." And he's like, "Oh, come on, it'll happen." He's like, "No, it'll never happen." And he's like, "Come on, well, you don't have it in you?" And Cena's like, "No, I got it in me. I do what they tell me, and it'll never happen." Which is to say, I could be a great heel. They won't turn me. It's not going to happen, but it ain't because of me. I could totally do it. So, and then we post it, and it's the top story on the site today. By the way, Sean, look at the hits.
Yeah, I saw them earlier. I haven't looked lately, but
I don't know what the fuck is going on, dude. We're exploding. But yeah, it's the top story today, and we post it, and fuck, hour later, the video's gone. We still got, it's not like we lied about anything that was said in the video. The video's the video. But yeah, so I just thought that was an interesting thing. So, but I understand they're serving all these different masters, and you got to make Cena look good, and he's the cash cow, and he sells all the merchandise, he does all this shit. And again, you have to build him to get back to the Brock match to where he's not just the weakling who just had his ass kicked. I understand that too. I'm not just a dumb mark who Cena wins. I get what you're doing. I totally disagree that you did this to Bray, who you're in the process of trying to rebuild because you already had Cena beat him in your big WrestleMania program. That doesn't make any sense to me. Involving Big Show and Mark Henry doesn't make any sense to me. Putting Mark Henry, an outstanding singles performer who, when you put the fucking World Heavyweight title on him on SmackDown during football season, ratings went up. He actually bumped ratings for a show that you fucking ignore, your B show. He actually did that in this day and age. You pair him with Big Show, Get Big Show off my fucking TV. I'm done with this guy. He offers nothing other than here's the appeal of Big Show. He's a big fat guy. You're a big fat monster. Like, that's the appeal. Like, people in a live, that's why they keep Kali on. You know why? Because when you go to an event and a big, tall fucking dude who stands out in front of everybody, even if you're miles away from him, holy shit, look at that big guy. Every time Vince McMahon sees Big Show, he thinks in his head, holy shit.
Andre the Giant. No, he thinks Andre the Giant.
Either which way, it's the same thing. Holy shit, that's a big guy. I got to put him on TV. Like, at what point is there some realization? Like, here's another thing that happened tonight. Kane! The first Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns match that we get is a fucking handicap that also involves Kane on a meaningless, really bad episode of Raw in a shit time slot at like 9:12 Central Time. Who booked this fucking show? This was terrible.
This is what we brought up the whole how Kane, not Kane, Roman Reigns should have come out and saved Dean Ambrose last week. Like that. So as far as the Reigns versus Rollins setup, perfect. This perfect booking. At least a setup. The problem is Roman Reigns. Like this wasn't a match, and obviously, clearly, you can't have either guy lose or win clean. But this is a feud that should happen, and they just killed it again because Kane is another heat sponge.
I don't know what you're talking about. I loved it. He threw a fucking cinder block at him, and it almost hit Jerry Lawler. It was awesome.
No, that was great, but like I would have liked to have seen a match, and I'm hoping that they run with this for Night of Champions.
They took a long time to get to Ambrose versus Rollins too. I think they're not going to give away. I mean, I don't even know if we'll get it at Night of Champions.
I'm just hoping it's an actual feud.
They did the same handicap with the same DQ finish on a SmackDown before they ever got to the lumberjack match between Rollins and Ambrose. But again, that's different in a lot of ways because of the situation. Like this just felt like a stopgap. Like, you know, I get why Reigns doesn't come out to help Ambrose because yeah, you're his friend. But I think there was a backstage interview that CM Punk did once where someone asked him that. Like, why don't the babyfaces always help the other babyfaces? Because you'd think that'd be the thing to do. And Punk said something like, well, you know, we don't hold each other's hands. You take care of your own business as a man. Or something like that, which is like, that works for me. You know, Dean Ambrose is his buddy, but Dean Ambrose is his own man. He can handle his own business, and Roman's got his shit to deal with. So I could picture tonight being something like Reigns is in the back, they're doing the eulogy, and Rollins is just popping off at his fucking mouth, and at some point Reigns is like, yep, I've heard enough of this shit, and then he goes out to handle it. Like, that's good with me. That makes sense. Like, that's something that would happen. Like, you know, you get into a fight with my brother, I'm not just immediately going to jump in. But if you start kicking his ass, I'm still not going to immediately jump in. But then if you're over the top of him taunting him, then I'm going to come punch you in your fucking lip or something. You know what I mean? So that's fine with me how they get there. Still, I don't – Kane, man, like, I just don't care about you anymore, dude. You've been around since '97.
But they took the mask off. It's all different now again.
Yeah, now
which they still haven't fucking explained.
And he's wearing dress pants.
Yeah, I've shamed you as the Demon Kane. Here's my mask. Oh, cool. He failed miserably to do the job they asked of him, so they just gave him a different job. Like, okay, now you don't have the mask with the weird wig and none of they don't know how to write for any of these characters.
Instead of turning him heel to face every 3 months, now they've decided they're going to take the mask off and put it back on every 3 months. That's all. I don't
know that they know how to write for any of the characters that are on their television show. I really don't. There was so much baffling shit that was said and done tonight. Like, I was thinking about Sting and why I really want Sting to come back. And I even want Sting to come back and battle the Authority, kind of like a throwback to when he was battling the NWO, something similar, working his way through the ranks to get the Triple H match at Mania if Undertaker doesn't come back, which it looks like he's not going to. It, like, back then there was like little cool touches that they had that I felt like this makes sense for the character and the story, and it's a cool thing that you can feel attached to as someone who's following along with the story, and it's little stuff, and it feels like this kind of little shit never fucking happens in WWE these days. Such as, you guys probably remember there was an episode of Nitro, and they're putting Nitro up next week, and hopefully this is on there somewhere, where Bischoff's in the ring cutting a promo, And Sting shows up through the ring, and he pops up, and the crowd goes nuts. And Bischoff never turns around, even though the crowd goes apeshit. But Sting grabs him by the back of his head and like looks and drags him down, and then like looks at him for like 10 seconds, then hits him with the Scorpion Death Drop. Here's the subtlety: it's not that Sting wanted to look at Eric Bischoff. It's that Sting wanted Eric Bischoff to look at him.
Right.
Like, you need to know that I'm the one doing this to you. Because for his character, that's what made sense. Like, look at this fucking face. This is the face of the person that is doing this to you. I want you to be afraid. I want you to understand this and go tell your fucking buddies that I'm coming for them too. And I'm going to do the same thing. That is the kind of a very small touch. Like, I'm not doing that to look at him. I'm doing it so he can look at me, so he can know exactly who's doing this to him, so they can tell everybody else because I'm coming for them too. That's writing for a character that makes sense for that character and for that story. You get none of that fucking subtlety in WWE. None of it. The only guy that you could get that kind of subtlety with is a guy like Bray Wyatt. And what did they do to Bray Wyatt? They just
Killed him.
They killed him.
the fuck out of him.
Like,
For no reason.
and Gino, Sean and I, and also Lady J and I, because we've done shows, the three of us.
Hi, Lady J. You were supposed to be on the show tonight, and you bailed on it. Fuck you.
No, I gave her the night off.
Don't stick up for her.
I gave her the night off.
Don't stick up for her, Lady J. You're fired.
I gave her the night off.
She no-showed. She no-showed. We advertised her, and she no-showed. She's fired.
Wow.
She took her ball and went home.
She took her ball and went home.
Burying, cutting the promo and burying her.
Took her ball and went home. We don't move on. We will. We have no other option. Let's go.
There has never been a burial on this show like mine when we left Fight Fans Radio.
That's true.
That was the best burial ever.
Scared.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Gino, what we've talked about is how you have a lot of people on the main roster that just there's creative has nothing for them. Do you think that hey, let's start cycling people off the main roster to NXT and then kind of make it seasonal so these people get some downtime, to work with new people? The guys in NXT like Sami Zayn are clearly ready. The Ascension is clearly ready. Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha Banks, these people are all clearly ready. But at the same time, someone like Fandango.
Okay. Here's what I'd say. Creative does have something for all of these people. Vince McMahon doesn't. It's not a question of we blame. It's Cageside. It's become like what's the word I'm looking for? In vogue, or it's become very the end thing to do to just be like, oh, Kevin Dunn's got his fingers all over it. Like when most people don't have a fucking clue. And we get people like Alex Greenfield in the threads now who reads our stuff and comments and things like, yeah, this is definitely a Kevin Dunn thing, and the AJ Page thing that we'll shit on here soon enough. But there are definitely people at the top in WWE who we can blame them for a lot. When you have to rewrite a show 15 times, of course it's going to come out disjointed. Of course it's going to come out really fucking like, you have 3 hours of programming to fill for one show. 5 when you add SmackDown, 6 when you add NXT, and then I don't know how long Superstars is, a couple matches. So you have all this time to fill, and you don't have anything for any of these guys? No, you do have stuff for these guys. It just gets fucking vetoed. Like, stories get pitched, and you're trying to do something with all these characters, and there's this fucking guy, this big mountain that's in the way, and you never get to do anything really interesting with any of them, which is why shit like what Lesnar did with Cena at SummerSlam is such a monumental breakthrough that we can all sit here and mark out about and feel good about. Because somehow that got past that mountain. Like, they agreed to that shit. They okayed it. They put the stamp on it. So,
but see, my problem with that, though, is I don't think they have, like, a story plan for that either. That's like Lesnar beating Undertaker. That's Vince.
No, they do.
No, I disagree. I don't think they do. I think they
idea.
But they'll change it 16 times.
Of course, because
then it's not. That's not an idea. That's a notion or something. I mean, if you can't commit to it, then it's no good. I mean, it's just a shock for shock's sake.
Okay,
yeah, if we're going right back to the status quo at Night of Champions, then what the fuck's the point?
I'm not saying that's what they're going to do.
But Gino, I mean, if you read the the rumor mill for today's rumor thread, the dirt screens. That they have two options that they're seriously considering. One, Lesnar loses the title and Cena gets the title back, or Lesnar wins and then he faces Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Here's the problem: there shouldn't be a Cena wins option. There's no reason for them to consider putting the belt back on Cena.
Okay, in your head, but
No. Period.
No, hang on. Here's the problem with this is why they look at the people who like us, and we're sitting here and our interests do not line up with theirs. My interest, it's why when WWE comes calling and they have a problem with an article that we wrote that comes up on the site, it's always, okay, we'll talk about it, but I'm not going to sacrifice because my interests aren't the same as yours, okay? You know, I've battled back and forth with them many times. Okay, I get it. You want to push this. That's fine. That's not my fucking job. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to push your bullshit. It's a situation where, okay, in my head, it makes no sense for John Cena to be the champion ever fucking again. I don't think you need to make him champ ever again in my head, because in my head, my interests are what's the best story. Their interests are what's going to make me the most money. It's all about the money.
No,
like
clearly.
Well, see, here's my thing is though, I don't even have a problem. You could make John Cena champion. I've got a ton of other shit that I enjoy about your product. I can watch other stuff. But I think you're leaving money on the table by telling the same lazy John Cena story over and over again. And I think you could tell the underdog, you could tell the Daniel Bryan story where John Cena fights his way back to the top and have WrestleMania blow everything away. If at Mania he's built back up to where that's where he finally beats Lesnar. But you don't make that much money if he just wins it back at Night of Champions again, or you do one of these swerve options that they've got cooking in the rumors. So I'm not blaming creative. I'm blaming Vince or whoever's, won't commit to something. And I'm not saying don't put the belt on Cena. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but I understand why they do it. But there's a way to do it that you can make a lot more money than just this hot shot. We don't know what else to do, so put the belt on Cena.
Okay, fine. Hang on. Let me ask you this, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just look at this like you represent what you're representing, and I'll represent WWE and the devil's advocate for this situation. So your plan is to keep the title on Brock until WrestleMania, right?
Sure. It's a plan, but yeah.
So Cena loses at Night of Champions, yes?
I wouldn't have booked that match, for starters. I would have booked...
But it is. We'll go with that for now.
Okay.
Because that's what's going with. Okay, so Cena has to lose at Night of Champions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you have now is you just squashed the biggest money draw of the past decade. Your biggest merchandise mover by a mile. It's not even close, the guy in number 2. And the guy in number 2 for a long time was CM Punk, and he hates your fucking guts. So now you beat him twice. He's gone. Your plan then is to build him back up. But there's a very long process to do that. Are you building towards Lesnar Cena at WrestleMania? Or are you building towards Lesnar Reigns because Reigns is the next guy?
It's up to them. I mean, I could write a story either way. I would probably
What's the story
right now. I would book towards Lesnar Cena at WrestleMania 31 because I think.
So you would book towards holding. You would book towards. Let's.
Given.
No, hang on. Because what you just said you would do is the fucking last thing that anyone on earth would want. Because now it's a redemption story you're giving redemption to a dude who has more world title reigns than Ric fucking Flair. We're redeeming.
I'm working within WWE's desire to keep Cena looking strong because he's their cash cow.
Okay, but if he can't.
I'm not saying that given me any option in the world, this is what I would book. But you said play it with where you'd give Cena the redemption story. So I'm saying this is how I would do that.
Okay, but the position what I'm saying is the position they're in, I didn't think you'd pick the Cena gets redemption at Mania option because that's fucking asinine to think that anyone who's anywhere near the IWC pulse would think to
it's the biggest
Who else is ready?
It's the biggest WrestleMania option you can give.
That's the biggest attraction would be Cena Lesnar.
Especially after
I'm playing WWE.
But I assumed you'd say Reigns because even if everyone rejects it,
He's
even
too
if
green.
everyone hates
He's too green for it, Gino.
What? You have to fucking make a new star eventually.
He's already made. Like he's already made.
He's not even kind of made.
Okay, then give him another year to develop. Then give him another year to develop, and then and then John Cena and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania does gangbusters.
That's the problem.
I mean, the guy that should be doing this is Daniel Bryan, but we don't know what the fuck's going on. We don't know if he's ever wrestling again.
Exactly.
More and more surgery.
That's the point I'm trying to make. You're the other guy that they were relying on, who they were headlining with the other house shows that they go out on, is out, and they don't know when he's going to come back. So the problem you have if you're WWE and you're trying to maintain your bottom line, remember, at a time when you're losing a fuck ton of money and you're doing all these financial cutbacks because of the network, you're going to tell me that the best thing to do at that moment is to completely fucking bury Cena for a redemption story that he's never going to get.
I'm not saying completely fucking bury Cena.
Hang on.
Well, but you're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say that.
No, I'm not. I'm saying the idea is.
I didn't say bury him.
Sean, the idea is
debut a new Heyman guy at Night of Champions that helps beat down Cena. He still looks strong, but he gets outnumbered. That gives him somebody to feud with while Lesnar is out.
The idea is you have to make a new guy. Cena can't last forever.
I'm giving you a different way to do that.
No, the way you're saying to do it is to make Cena beat Lesnar. Lesnar is.
If you put Reigns out there right now and he dies, then you've got fucking Lex Luger.
So
what you've got. You've got a guy that can't talk and can't work a match, and then you haven't done anything. Then you've pissed Lesnar away on that.
No, you can turn him heel. You can't piss Lesnar away now. Giving that win to Cena.
You can. If Cena wins at Night of Champions, you've just pissed. What was the point of any of it?
My point is.
What was the point of it, Gino?
They should stay with Reigns. They should stay with Reigns and give Reigns the win at WrestleMania 31 because you have to try to make a new star. The point is maybe they won't do that because they're going to get scared. And I'm representing the fact that WWE is sitting here going, we're losing all this fucking money. We're doing all these financial cutbacks. We can't even make unique sets at our pay-per-views anymore because we don't have the fucking cash to do it. Because
we're arguing the same thing, Gino. I'm just saying there's a different way to do it. I'm saying the way to make the most money right now is to build to Cena versus Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. That's to make the most money now. Fuck the future. You need to make money now. You can't afford to pay production staff.
That doesn't make you're still beating Cena at 2 shows in a row. And yeah, there's going to be the redemption, but there's all that time in between before he ever gets to that show. And then again, you're sacrificing Reigns as your star. So you can't do that.
You're not sacrificing Reigns. Let Reigns continue to feud with Rollins, turn Ambrose. You can tell that story in parallel, and then you build Reigns for the next year.
Beating Lesnar for the title. No one will be as big, as credible as whatever as Brock Lesnar is right now. Beating the streak and then beating the biggest star of the past decade in consecutive shows to win the title. Beating him at Night of Champions would be the asinine, stupidest thing they could possibly do, in my mind, for the long
I agree with that. But I think they might do it.
We said that.
For the long term, but all I'm saying, the position I'm representing is that we need to at least understand that there is at least a possibility that WWE does it because Vince McMahon and his cronies will sit around and go, guys, can we really let him win? Let him beat our top guy and leave for 3 months until the Royal Rumble with the fucking title. How are we gonna do
our show? I think they're gonna have Cena win at Night of Champions. That's my pick.
It's entirely possible they're gonna get scared because what do we do? And
that's what I'm saying.
The Roman Reigns thing, because you have to build a new star. You can never, you know what I mean? It's a shitty position. I'm saying maybe that's the case. Maybe that's why they do and are doing the shit that they're in the process. I don't know.
Well, here's the other thing, though. But here's where we're agreeing too. Is the reason that they're in this fucking mess is because they don't build new stars. They put all of their eggs in the Punk basket.
Because
they put all of their. They should have been building up a mid card all this time with this 6 to 7 hours of TV that they have every week.
Bray Wyatt should have right now.
Right. You should have a bunch of stars you could play with, but you don't. You have John Cena and you have a part timer, and that's it. And you have a wing and a prayer with Roman Reigns right now. He's got all the tools in the world, but he is raw as fuck.
And you have another prayer with Daniel Bryan coming back.
If Punk and Bryan were still there, none of this would be a problem.
Exactly.
They'd have headliners. They don't have headliners. They have 0 fucking headliners. They headlined a Raw with Ambrose Rollins, which I loved, but that was out of necessity. There was no one else to do it.
How were those numbers afterwards? Was the ratings actually good for it or no?
No,
they were down a little.
But it's either way. I mean,
I don't think Mark Henry and Big Show were their dream run-in guys tonight.
And guess what? It is now. Football season.
Yep.
Raw's going to get fucking slaughtered, like it always does, because they can't compete with football, and because football makes the necessary changes they need to make. Football, like, people think football is just this big thing and it's just because people love the game. You know what they do? They fucking change their rules around to make teams score more.
Yep.
You can't breathe on wide receivers. You know why? Because then they won't score. And you know what? The chicks dig the long ball. They also fucking dig touchdowns for 80 yards because you're so scared to touch the wide receiver. WWE, they just panic, give the belt to Cena.
I mean, that's why I liked the Reigns thing tonight. I said on Twitter that was my favorite part of the show. It probably was top 3 at least, is because I feel like they did call a little bit of an audible there. People were falling away from being interested in Reigns. Part of it's necessity because Ambrose left the show, but part of it is that people were losing interest in Reigns as a face by himself. So now they've given him a purpose again, and this is much better for him than chasing the title because they weren't ready to put the title on him. So that was a pointless quest, even though they were still booking him strong. I feel like they called a little bit of an audible by putting him back into the Rollins story. And I think that's what they need to do more in other places. When shit's not working, back up and do something that does work.
You can't book a dominant babyface. People resent success. The reason they never ever went against Daniel, the reason they never ever went against Daniel, kids love it because it gives them someone to look up to.
Exactly.
Like a father to them. Like your dad. You want your dad
to count on, right? It's the superhero who will beat all of your demons.
Everyone else resents success. The people who are going to be the loudest are going to be the ones who are. I don't like dynasties. You like underdogs.
No,
so that's why Daniel Bryan was never.
Except it worked with Goldberg. It worked with Stone Cold Steve Austin. It worked with The Rock during his babyface run. No, the shit works, dude.
No, but that's not why it worked. That was not the central theme. The central theme with Reigns is that he's a badass. The central theme.
So he's Goldberg. So he's Goldberg.
Okay, but Goldberg still worked his way up the ladder, and it was cool watching him work his way up. And the NWO was still running the damn show. It was cool because eventually he's going to have to get to the NWO. That was what made that cool.
No, it made it
he was
cool
dog shit after that.
It made it cool because he had that awesome ass entrance. Reigns has that. He had a cool finisher. Reigns has that. No, but you can't say that, dude. Like, it can work. Like, it can work. You can build up a baby face. And it's not about, oh, the internet community's not gonna like it. Like, no, the internet community could love it. And the smarks could really get behind it. And it's not like, and it's not about like, oh, Daniel Bryan
in this day and age,
though. No, but it doesn't. It's not about like it only works in a Daniel Bryan kind of situation because he's an indie darling. It's not that. It's because you can make it work. The problem with Cena can work a match. Cena can work a better match than pretty much everybody on that roster. Like, no bullshit. He's probably one of the best workers on that roster and has been for a decade. The same decade that he's been a money draw. The problem is that, as Sean said, they've only had one guy, and then they had another one with CM Punk. And the problem is that they keep abandoning ship instead of saying, hey, you know what, this isn't catching on. They almost did it with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan wasn't made. Daniel Bryan almost got buried because they almost abandoned ship on him, man. Like, John Cena is somebody because they didn't abandon ship. Hopefully they don't abandon ship, like abandon Roman Reigns when people figure out and the crowd reactions don't happen, and when people don't do this for him and do the because they notice that he can't work a match and he's green as dog shit. The problem, and that's the thing. He's not Daniel Bryan, so the reason why people are getting really annoyed at Roman Reigns, at least in the internet community, is because he can't work a match. He can't. John Cena can. John Cena can work any match that he wants. He was fucking John Cena, amateur wrestler tonight. Week before, John Cena fucking luchador. Week before that, scientific wrestler doing fucking chain wrestling. He can do that shit. Roman Reigns can't. That's my beef.
Again, the difference, though, is there was someone to topple.
There still is.
Dominant. No, there's not.
Yes, there is. What you're saying, what you guys are saying.
Lesnar right now is the guy.
If Lesnar's the guy, then I don't think they turn on him. But they need to immediately shift the story and make it. If they make it the slow build, cool. But again, Goldberg was built with the dominance on. There's someone to topple. I remember being a little Goldberg mark and sitting there and going, I can't wait till he's wrestling real guys. I can't wait till he gets to the NWO because he's gonna, right?
Okay,
And then
and that's the problem is that they've pretty much abandoned the authority angle too.
Exactly.
Again, but again, abandon ship. It's not a matter of, oh, hey, they're putting all their all their chickens in one basket or eggs in one basket with John Cena. It's that, oh wait, we actually have a real angle that you could run with Roman Reigns for the next 6 months. For the next 6 months, you could have him get beat down and play babyface in peril and still come back, and you can do that. Meanwhile, you can do John Cena versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Actually, have him. It doesn't even need to be a clean loss at Night of Champions. It could be a schmaz finish, as Sean said. Introduce another Paul Heyman guy, dude. It's like fucking Ryback. Both Paul Heyman guys introduced the same fucking way. Like Curtis Axel, his entire thing was, oh hey, that's what he what he came in as. This is the Paul Heyman guy to help out.
You know what they're gonna say?
He doesn't need to be a long-term guy that you have investment in. Just, hey, Brock Lesnar beats him because Paul Heyman comes out with a new person.
Do we realize you could argue they're doing that right now, and we're just being impatient?
With who?
With Reigns. That they're building him that way and having him kind of slowly work his way through. He's on Orton right now. And then if the idea initially was supposed to be him and Triple H at Night of Champions, and they haven't even fucking kind of hinted at that.
No, I think they pulled the reins back a little bit on that, pun intended. But
oh my God, you're fired.
I didn't mean it, but then once I said it, I couldn't take it back.
Owned it. You're hired. They're still kind of making their way through and doing that. And then like the tonight was, I guess, an outlier because Orton wasn't on the show for whatever reason, and so they had to do something with him, get him out in front of the crowd. It makes sense, I guess, for him to come out the way he did for the Rollins thing, which is fine, and the handicap match makes sense in a way, which again, that's fine. But I just tonight's show was so bad because in a vacuum, it's shit. But even when you zoom out, it's still shit. There was just a lot of really bad.
But there was good stuff too, which I do want to talk about.
Let's talk about that.
So you to me there was two highlights and maybe a third. The first highlight was definitely the eulogy for Ambrose. That was perfect. It was great.
I disagree totally.
I didn't
think the eulogy was well executed. I like what came after.
It was just boring. Like Rollins didn't really say anything. It just made me sit there and go, wow, this show would be a billion times better if the dude in the picture was actually here. But he's not, so I get Rollins, who in my mind, there's been this weird thing that's happened where it's like, I know how good he is, but the Shield members were always really good because they played off the strengths they had when they were the group, and we only ever saw those strengths. Now, it's just they're on their own, and when you lay out here are the strengths, but also here are the weaknesses, and they're working on them, and here's all this stuff, Rollins he's got a lot of weaknesses. I love the guy. He's a great wrestler. But you put him out there in a situation like tonight, and he's got to give a eulogy, and he's not a great promo. I don't like listening to him talk.
He's not a bad promo.
He's not a bad promo.
He's a workman-like promo, I would say.
Yeah,
he's real. He hits the points. He delivers he hits the script points that they give him, but he doesn't bring anything extra to it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of I can remember when I was first going to do the very first podcast I did, I got some advice from a dude who used to do radio, who's since passed on, actually. Rest in peace to Scott. He said, emphasis. Like, you're a very passionate personality. Like, let that come through. You know what I mean? And with Rollins, it never feel like, and obviously you guys can tell that's totally what I've done. I just fucking go wild and let people feel how they feel about it. With Rollins, it's like, even when he's doing that, it still feels kind of, I don't know if it's just me, but it feels kind of, I just don't connect to it. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of, you know what I mean? It still feels like it's monotone, I guess. It's just he's fluctuating with how high he's speaking.
Well, I thought his laugh was horrible.
That was bad. That
was like a parody of somebody trying to do an evil laugh. I just thought that was not.
It got over on Twitter. Some people tweeted me that they really liked it.
Oh, I thought it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was one of the high points of the show.
I really liked. Like I said before, I really liked that Reigns finally got involved. I really liked that I mean, that's the character to me. That's the swagger, is that he didn't run in to kick anybody's ass. He just walked down. I'm just coming. It was a very Clint Eastwood. I'm going to walk up there, and I'm going to beat the piss out of both of you.
Can I tell you a
wait
pet
right
peeve
there.
I have? Can I tell you? It's not. I don't know if it's a pet peeve, but it annoys me every time. And this is, someone's gonna hear this and think I'm a whiny bitch, which fine, I probably am. But when Reigns comes out through the crowd, he is like, his focus on the steps is really intense.
Like he doesn't want to slip.
Like he's so fucking scared to death that he's gonna like take a bad step and fall that he doesn't look up. Like I would really appreciate it if he's like looking at his target as he's walking down, which Ambrose and Rollins never seem to have that problem. I mean, they'd look down, of course. You got to know where you're going, and, you know, you don't want to fall, and every arena is different, and there's fans touching you and shit. But Reigns looks straight down the whole fucking time.
Yeah, but what about what happens to your badass if he slips and falls?
It's true. I mean, I guess. But you don't look like that much of a badass if you're, like, timidly...
Which is interesting, because one thing is, there was a, I don't know if it was a Vine, or there was something going around. It was a GIF, just to piss Geno off since he's back, so I can get myself fired. There was where Reigns was like, at least one guy, maybe a couple guys, he just high-fived him or he fist-bumped him without even looking at him. It was a total, like, Dwayne Johnson, like, bad fucking ass move.
Boss.
But if he can do that, why can't he walk down the stairs without looking at him?
Yeah, like quit staring at the steps like you.
I've never noticed it, but now that you've mentioned it, it's going to bug me.
Yeah, because again, you can't.
Thanks, Gino.
You can't have your badass baby face, whatever the hell you want to call him, because he's not really a baby face.
And he also holds the rail.
Yeah, because you can't be a badass if you slip and fall. That's it.
You're also not a badass if you're like timidly tiptoeing and shit.
He's not timid.
He's not steep. Have you been
holding
in
the fucking rail. Like, come on,
people
man.
spill at beer. You could go down, man. People go down.
Man. I want to see you do a fucking swan dive and like then do a roll like Rollins used to do over the barricade.
Yeah, that's
get
what I was
up and
thinking
Superman
of.
punch someone as soon as you get up. I want my completely unrealistic expectations to be fulfilled with my badasses. Man. Yeah, anyway. The match sucked too, and there was a lot of dumb stuff, and
And again, he can't work a match.
But this was a good way to hide it. It was multiple guys. It got him, let him get his spots in. I marched for the cinder block thing. I hope cinder blocks under the ring bell are like the new kendo stick. I hope that's everywhere. I hope that happens everywhere now.
Those blocks are made of styrofoam.
They are not made of styrofoam. Styrofoam does not shatter like that, Gino.
I said that on Twitter, and like Lady J like got.
That's where the Lady J feud started that I saw.
That's why Lady J's really mad at me. That's really.
She whipped out the theater document.
Yeah, she's like, "Hi, I went to college. I totally know this shit." Like I could see her saying it like that, and, like snapping her fingers, and I'm like, I'm like, Jay, like seriously, like you need to stop because go back and like I don't actually think they're made of styrofoam, guys. I don't. I'm just talking shit. Like it wouldn't disintegrate the way it did when it hit the pole. Like Jay, it's going over your head right now. Like, please don't keep going. Yeah, no, it was great. And a piece of the cinder block
almost hit Jerry Lawler.
That's why it was awesome.
And that would have been the best. That would have been the best.
If he was okay, and it was the best thing for a minute.
This was a great Jerry Lawler night. Oh, fuck this.
Yes. This was the highlight of the night.
You're a sick man.
Fuck the rest of the show. This is where we're talking now.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing.
We do have. There's one thing that's come up on Twitter that I want to make sure we hit on before we leave.
Okay.
Remind me. I'm gonna go off on this.
John, I wish you died in the womb.
No, wait. Start from the beginning, which is like we were holding hands in the womb.
Yeah, Brie Bella is the worst performer.
Brie Bella is the worst performer in the world.
I
don't need a theater degree to tell you that either. I can just tell you that.
In history, like
she is horrible.
We don't need Lady J's expertise to know that Brie is dog shit.
My ears bled and I shit blood while she was trying to act.
I
almost took myself to the emergency room. I was in so much pain.
Rob was competing with the Emmys, and Brie Bella won Worst Actress.
Oh my God, that's true. I didn't even think of that.
She won Worst Actress in the Emmys. Like, okay, so one.
I mean,
Nikki
how was she supposed to get over as a fucking baby face when all she did was fucking make little pouty cry noises?
Stop! No,
You
it's
go-
not. Stop! Stop!
Nikki,
Stop! Nikki, stop! Nikki, stop! It's not.
And what I just
Nikki,
did is 10
stop.
times better than anything she did.
Sean, your face was fucking dead on. Do that again. Real quick. Do it again.
no, Nikki, stop! Nikki, stop!
Someone GIF this as soon as it's over. We need that Sean GIF, because that's what I'm going to do when I ban people.
I
I'm gonna
hated this
fucking
so
put that
much.
GIF up.
No, look.
Because anything, here's the other thing. As cool as some of the, because Nikki said some badass like medieval shit to
Nikki
her,
was
like I
feeling
want
it
you to die in the womb. But there's no character build up to this. This is just all of a sudden Nikki just went like fucking like Disney evil queen evil. So there was no out of nowhere. She's just the worst person on earth all of a sudden.
It went from you used to steal my boyfriends when we were little kids, which okay.
But
We
that
didn't need
doesn't
that
make any sense because she just got done ragging Daniel Bryan. She doesn't want her husband anyway. So there's
And
no...
You're fucking John Cena. Are you shitting me?
Which apparently is not in kayfabe anymore, because even though it's on Total Divas, that can't... Because John wouldn't put up with this. I mean, he would have to break up with her in kayfabe. This is bad mojo.
John's wondering if he's got a shot with Brie now, is what he's hearing. He's like, wait a minute.
But you know what? But you know what?
Well,
like
apparently, we didn't have Steph this week, but as far as we know, they're still running with the Daniel Bryan as a cheater angle, because Stephanie brought that up
Where's
again
Megan
last
Miller
week.
at?
I hate this whole fucking angle. I hate it.
this angle is now amazing. Fucking now, because here's the thing, Sean, and you and I talked about it, and so did Lady J and I. Nikki finally said what she should have said the entire time, which is, "No, I hate you because while you were fired, I got my ass kicked."
But she's still saying that. She's saying that months after she took all those beatings, and that's only one of the things. Like, why would you? If Brie was always this horrible sister who stole your boyfriends and like talked shit about you behind your back to your parents, why were you ever taking those beatings for her? Why would you have just said, you know what, Steph, fuck this, don't beat me up. I hate that cunt.
Good call. No!
Oh, you talked the C word. No, you really are fired.
God damn it, Sean.
I'm a heel and I'm tired.
Sean.
You can't say the C.
Again with the tired excuse, dude.
I said Kant, Immanuel Kant. He's a philosopher.
Oh my god.
Look it up. Wikipedia that. Jay will know what I'm talking about. She went to theater school. I said Kant.
Kant.
K-A-N-T, Kant.
No, I'm going to get on Google, and my chat's going to light up, and she's going to go, he fucking said that word. I am not doing another
She'll
show
forgive
with
me
Sean.
because we're tag team partners. She'll forgive me.
No, she won't.
We're going to go. We're taking you guys.
No, she won't.
Sean,
Sean, you're done.
Word to use, Sean.
I said
Dude, what happens to you? You get you're big Russian bitch. Oh, now she's being a fucking cunt. Come on, man. You can't
I don't
say
even remember
that
what
like
my point was, but it was a good point.
No, it wasn't. It was.
Yes,
the
it
point
was.
was.
It was really good, and then I went too far.
It was a disaster
I
of a
went too
point.
far.
It was a
good
disaster of
point.
a point. But
Wait,
you know what? But here's the thing. Nikki Bella came out showing that she actually can cut a promo, kind of has a character, maybe, even though it's really bad character development, and she became like Maleficent, like 0 to 60. She actually does have some sort of a character now. Actually can kind of act. Brie Bella can't do shit. That's funny. Like, they gave her the opportunity to just fake cry, and this was like.
Someone told me once that Stephanie
God.
looked better because she was opposite Brie. Nikki looks better because she's opposite Brie. But
And this segment tonight suffered for not having Steph there. Those two
so
cannot
much.
go out there on their own ever again.
an interesting
Ever.
thing that happened that I noticed was there were two really good lines, or two lines that could have been so much better but weren't. And it was John Cena and Nikki Bella, the couple, the awful couple. Cena, remember at the beginning of the show when he's like, I'm not just going to beat Brock Lesnar, I'm going to beat Brock Lesnar's ass. And then he walked off. That's not how you say that. You needed to emphasize that. Because standalone, I'm not just going to beat him, I'm going to beat his ass. What's the difference? You need to make the distinction clear between, because it is a PG world, so you can't say, I'm not just going to beat him, I'm going to kill him. Like, you can't say something like that.
Yeah, the baby face can't say it. The heels already said it.
So the way you make the distinction is to go, I'm not just going to beat him, I'm going to beat his ass. Like, you really emphasize it. He decided to just speak even softer. I'm not just going to beat him. I'm going to beat his ass. And then he leaves. Nikki did the same thing. When she said all this shit talk, has said all these horrible things, and her closing line was really good. I wish you would have died in the womb. Like, but that's not how she said it. I wish you would have died in the womb. Why did you just put that weird emphasis there?
I hope the WWE creates a set that has them actually wrestling in a womb.
That's a great closing line. You should have like waited for it to get quiet and then just been like, I wish you would have died in the womb. Like, emphasize death. Like, because it's a big thing you're saying. And then, whatever. But yeah, and then the cameras missed Lawler getting slapped in the face. The replay showed it, thankfully. But live,
Lawler should not be breaking up girl fights, by the way.
Yes! What are you doing having Jerry Lawler grabbing Nikki Bella? No. Come on, guys, no.
Genius segment.
Greatest
Greatest
the other
segment.
thing is, who? Not only did we not have Stephanie, but who did they send out there to moderate this shit? The chief perv in charge himself.
Yeah,
I
biggest
mean,
pervert in the fucking.
Who earlier in the night even said, he said, remember they were talking about they were doing the Nitro announcement and talking about the Monday Night Wars show, and he said something like, "This was back when I used to say puppies every other word."
Great times.
I hate him so much too.
He's so bad. I'm so glad he blocked us on Twitter. Fuck you, Jerry Lawler.
Did he really?
He really blocked us because Sean did that article calling him out for the page stuff. Fuck you, Jerry Lawler. You perverted fuck. I was so happy when she slapped him.
Whatever. Yeah.
And she's like yelling at him, "Get out of here, old man!" I wish she would have actually went after him.
So
get it? My cleavage is out. Fuck off, Lawler, you perverted fuck. He probably asked to be the guy moderating that segment.
That's in his contract. It's in his contract.
It probably is. I mean, that's how he gets slapped by Eva Marie too.
The worst slap ever. All right, what's the other thing you want to talk about, Sean?
So, your boy, the big guy, got on Twitter tonight and said he's going away for a while to get some stuff fixed. He hasn't been himself for quite some time. And he wasn't on the show tonight.
Ryback.
Yep. He also has a pretty funny little action figure set up with CM Punk, but because he can't not be funny on Twitter. But it sounds like it's legit. It sounds like he's going away.
I wonder what that means. Gonna need you to do a post on that tomorrow.
We'll get to it.
He's going to be wearing a cowboy hat and a vest again.
But was there? They weren't overseas. There wasn't an overseas tour or anything because Triple H, Steph, Randy Orton, Ryback, Axel, Jericho.
They announced main event, or maybe that was SmackDown. Highlight reel with Jericho interviewing Orton.
Yeah.
I know they announced that, but yeah, a lot of people missed this show.
Which is just weird. I mean, obviously Lesnar and Heyman, they're backstage.
The best thing on the show was the pre-tape, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, Brock's good like that. That's UFC Brock. I mean.
Yeah, and Heyman, like, I really liked their angle. Like, the angle with Cena was like, and we didn't even talk about the Hall of Fame for him, which was an abomination, but which was great, though, because HBK and Flair were, like, basically looking at Hogan like, you're a fucking idiot.
I was kind of hoping Hogan and HBK were going to get into it. I mean, isn't there still real heat there from that?
I put on Twitter, I can't wait until we learn that Hogan was actually mad at Sean for fucking cutting him off. I think because he actually said, before you interrupted me, Mr. Michaels, what I was saying was, I think Cena's going to win, brother. And then Flair hits Hogan's shoulder, and Hogan turns, and Flair's like, you don't actually think that. Like, I was like, it was legitimately Michaels and Flair on both sides of Hogan, like, looking at Hogan going, dude, we all know you're completely full of shit, dude. Like, you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Finally, Cena's music hits, and Hogan keeps talking for like 2 seconds, then he puts the mic down and throws his arms up. Like, yeah, here we go. Finally, John's coming out here. And then even Cena.
He was like, no, you're wrong, Hulk.
Even Cena was like, Hulk, I appreciate the support, but I want you to look me in the eyes when I say this. I was like, Hulk's having a terrible night. He's probably never coming back. That was great.
Wait. One last thing before we do go. How about Damian Mizdow?
That was pretty good.
Oh, that was good. Oh, fuck. AJ and Paige. Sean, what do we think about
that? Are we really going to go HLA with this?
That's what I was going to say. Like, okay, JBL called it mind games. Here's what AJ did. AJ got really close to Paige, okay, smiled, hugged her, and this was not wanted, and then took her hand, gave it a kiss, seductively, and gave it back. JBL said she's playing mind games. And I thought, what's the mind game? What's the mind game there? It's like, what's the implied threat? Sexual assault.
Sexual assault.
The implied threat is sexual assault, everybody. That is literally the only thing you can take. Everyone on Twitter was like, I wish these two would just fucking get this shit over with. They can't have sex in the ring, so I guess they're going to have a match. Like, that's this is women who are telling me this. Like, there's a lot of sexual tension in here. This is so fucked up.
The greatest was the failed kiss chant that was trying to go. Then some sparks tried getting going.
Well, like I said, I mean, the only thing I can think is that this is part of their ploy to get people to stop chanting Punk at her. If they want her to really get it on with Paige, they won't chant her husband's name.
That won't matter. Yes, they will. They'll chant Punk in the hopes that he'll show up and join in. Pull your cock out. Let's do this.
They don't. Yeah, everything.
Live sex show. Sex show.
Even when they let the women wrestle, they have to make it about sex. They can't help themselves.
They cannot help it. Like it legitimately went to implying sexual.
Well, I've been mad ever since.
I want you to think I'm gonna rape you.
They've added that thing. It's one of Paige's. It's one of Paige's like signature moves now, where she sort of sexually crawls over whoever she's wrestling.
Yeah.
They've added that. She never did that in NXT. That's
heaven forbid it's just the headbutts by themselves, or
no,
the
first
knees
she has
through the
to
ropes.
sex you up, and then she headbutts you.
Yeah, like again, implied sexual assault.
Right.
What the fuck is going on in Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon's head? Here's what we need, guys. We need to send AJ out there and kind of sort of threaten to rape Paige to make her uncomfortable. Is this what we need for this feud? What the fuck's the matter with you? This was good on its own. The idea of AJ going, okay, Paige was like, I'm going to act crazy and it's going to throw AJ off. And the response is AJ is going to be, no, you can't act crazy as me. I'm all fucked up. Okay, fine. You want to do that?
That's your baby face. Her retort is, I'm crazier than you.
Yeah, but like to take it to this place.
And sexy.
Yeah, to take it to this place. Like heaven forbid Paige just like headbutts and knees the fuck out. I love that spot where she hangs them over the rope and then just knees the shit out of their guts. That's a great spot. Yep. You don't see any men doing that. The thing that comes close is Sheamus. But you know what you don't see Sheamus doing? Fucking snuggling up to fucking Cesaro and whispering sweet nothings into his ear before he starts doing
I would mark out that.
That would be amazing.
Oh my God, with you two, you're not fucking helping my point, man.
That'd be amazing, Gino.
Well, because if they did that, there would only be one male feud that was doing that. It wouldn't be every fucking feud between men on the show had something to do with sex with each other.
Exactly.
And because Gino, that would be character development for Sheamus.
All right. Well, here's another good thing we should talk about too, though, is they turned the Dust Brothers.
Kinda.
Yeah, that was a heel turn.
No,
yeah.
I mean they turned them. I mean that's.
They'll abandon it next week.
They dropped the Cosmic Key, but they turned him heel.
Yeah,
They'll abandon it next week. They didn't turn him heel.
Well, maybe at least to keep Henry and Show off of the out of
They just gave him a fucking T-shirt. He's not a heel.
I like that it wasn't even really a heel turn. It was more like them speaking on what we would say. No, we're not doing this count-out shit. Let's actually have a match. And
that was not a heel turn. That was
like restart it. Then they just kicked the shit out of him.
That was a shoot, Sean. That wasn't a heel turn.
Try to shoot
that was Goldust like grabbing a mic and being like, "Fuck this! I'm tired of this shit. Like, you guys keep doing this. This count-out shit's got to stop. Like, let's have a real match." And the Usos like, "We don't cheat. We Uso crazy." That's
well, they're doing better than that was racial stereotyping right there.
Gino, that was worse than Sean saying.
We need Xavier Woods to come back and tell you to do that.
Yeah, well, what happened with that?
Kofi's a jobber. Big E's not even on the show. Big E is also not on the show.
Xavier, is that what his name is?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Xavier.
Whatever.
Not Xavier.
Xavier, like the school, like the Catholic university.
So Gino, is it Professor Xavier?
That's the fucking point. They fucked it up. That's wrong. It's Xavier.
No, it's Xavier. Xavier.
All right, I don't want to argue. I'm not arguing about this. What else?
I'm done until this is argued.
Roth.
When's Batista coming back?
Suck. Cats are the worst. Cats are the worst.
Cats are great.
Cats are the worst.
Fuck you, man.
Okay.
Probably like dogs because a dog will love you no matter what
you have the option. You have the option as a person to have a dog or a cat, and you say, "Oh no, I don't want this thing that loves me unconditionally and just
Yeah.
wants to hang out and play all the time and is the best.
Exhausting. That's exhausting. That's like nothing in reality.
You're gonna go. No, you know what? I want this shitty animal that makes me sneeze. That's
All
what
of my
you
cats
want.
love
You want
me,
the,
and,
I want this shit
and they
that
tell me to
destroys
fuck off
my
every once in a
couches.
while. They're real,
I
not
want
like
this
you.
shit that destroys my couches. I don't want a dog that just loves.
No, you want a dog that you can beat up and it'll still love you. And
No,
cats
no,
put
oh,
up with your-
don't you dare! I'm not fucking Michael
The
Vick.
problem
I'm
is,
not Michael Vick or Bjorn Rebney, so take that fucking back.
I'm not saying that's what you're doing. I'm saying that's what you could do, and it would still love you because dogs are fucking dumb. I'm
No,
telling you,
they're not.
I love dogs, but I just happen to be a cat.
Can your cat get you the newspaper?
yes.
No, it
I
can't.
wanted
You
it to.
fucking
If I
liar.
wanted it
Who
to,
the
I
fuck
could.
reads a newspaper? It's a
It
goddamn.
can't get you the fucking Sunday Times because that
would
shit's
take
fucking
time.
gigantic.
It would take some time.
No.
My cat can turn
does
on my
not love
laptop, and then I
Your
can get on the
cat does
fucking
not
internet
like
and read
you.
the news.
Your cat does not like you. Your cat hates you. Your
My
cat.
cat loves me.
No,
Go
your
fuck
cat
yourself.
hates you.
No, you could never get the affection of a cat because you don't put the work in.
Come
Because
here,
you're
Nessie.
like dogs who just throw it at you no matter what you do.
Cats
Yeah.
suck. They are the worst.
Cats
They
make
make you
you
sneeze. Cats make you
Ugly
sneeze.
cat.
Cats make you sneeze. I refuse to
See
look
that
at that
man?
cat.
He's
John,
evil.
Put the fucking cat down.
I
Sean, that's abuse. That cat does not like that.
Yeah,
That cat
not
loves
only
me.
does Sean say the C word, but he hates cats. He is abusing
Sean-
his animal.
Sean is he's sexist. He used the worst word he could possibly use.
And he's catsist.
No,
and
no,
he's
worse
catsist.
word.
animals.
No.
Sean did. You need to apologize for that word.
I'm sorry. I liked when Cesaro threw the U.S.
A
title.
real-
Don't you fucking distract from the fact
No,
that
I'm
you are a
being
sexist?
serious about
You know
this.
what I need to do? But if I could just do one thing, it would make me a much better person. If I could just believe.
Sean, I need a real apology. I'm being totally serious.
I didn't mean to say that word. Sorry.
Wow.
That
That's the best you have.
was that. You know what? In his defense, better apology than Ray Rice and Stephen A. Smith.
It really was. I'll do it for you. Everyone who's listening who may have been offended by that, we actually are very sorry. So,
Yeah.
yeah. We don't promote usage of that word. We don't want to use that word. We don't want to be that way towards anyone, and if you were offended, then we apologize. And Sean, you're going to not say that again, right?
I am not. I really don't normally say that. I mean, this is.
I normally say it, and so
It
that's.
seems like you were pretty seamlessly
Roth
put out
uses
there.
our word. That's why I don't rant, because I'm worried that I will say things like that. So that's why I usually try to keep it cool.
I'm famous
because-
for my rants, and I don't say
I
shit.
know, and you don't. You're gifted at them. I am not. That's not my thing.
I used the R word
right.
once, and I apologized to Gino immediately.
You did, and you apologized on the air. And I
Yep.
apologize for using the other word that I used tonight. It was.
What was the word you used
That's
tonight,
a-
Sean?
I'm not saying that. That's a bad word. You shouldn't use it. It's disrespectful, and it just sounds ugly.
Yes, and it's very bad for our female listeners, readers, viewers, people who like to hang out with us. And there's so many cool chicks who who have been able to get on the site and enjoy it lately, and we've been working towards that. We totally fight for female issues, feminists, all that stuff. As I've gotten older and I've been exposed to it, it's definitely something that I believe very strongly in now. So yeah, that word is terrible, and we will not use that again. We're very sorry to everyone who's upset at us for that.
Please judge me on my actions, not on my one-word slip-up.
Your one word. Look at you trying to justify it.
I'm just saying. I don't.
Just
drop-
own it.
I did own it. I said it. I'm sorry.
You're such a dick. You're fired.
All right, that's it.
What were you gonna say? What were
Deal
you?
with it. Deal with it. Deal
Wait
with
a
it.
minute! No, look at the snap reaction, and he held his tongue. I'm not usually like that. Everybody, you're fired for that mishap, which would totally be justified.
I'm
If
learning
you
from my
immediately-
mistakes.
Go
I'm
fuck
learning.
yourself, man.
I'm learning to hold my tongue. I'm just used to dealing
Dude, that
with
was
Roth.
pretty telling. That was pretty telling, Sean.
Well, I've been attacked. I've had dog people yelling at me. I'm going to bed. Good night.
The reality is I watched the past couple shows and I realized that when the cat's away, the mice will play. You two were just going fucking wild.
No, we
without me
were
around.
not. That is a lie. That is a
Nonsense.
fucking lie.
It's been out of control.
No, it has not.
Here and fucking
No, it has not. That is a lie, Gino. Gino, that is a goddamn lie.
That is a lie. I just wanted to stop in for a show and say what's up to everybody, and I've
Yeah,
had fun.
and you know what? Gino's fired. He's not coming back on this show.
I'm done. This is the last time you guys will ever hear from
He
me.
can't stay away. He'll be back.
This was the last one. Never, ever.
All right, punk.
Never, ever.
All right, deal with it.